Hello everyone, very good afternoon to all the viewers of Unacademy Law. This is Kushagra Goyal, your educator for the CLAT examination. And आज का newspaper analysis हम थोड़ा opposite direction में करेंगे, alright? Because the most important news for us is the news that has been printed on the very last page of the newspaper. So we'll be doing a little ulta today. Alright, precisely because it is the importance of the topic that we need to focus on. Alright, now all of you I'm sure are aware that today morning there was a statement released by the Kremlin. It has also been published in all the newspapers that Russia has moved in to recognize the Donbass region as independent. That a territory that is right now recognized on the map of Ukraine will now be considered as an independent territory by Russia. So very good afternoon to all of you. Hi Middad, hi. Hello Sampada, hi Sarthak, hello Isham, hi Amir, hello Janvi, Jyoti, Nandini, Prateek, Sneha, very good afternoon. So in our today's newspaper analysis, the most important news for all of us is the one that is coming out of Russia. अब हमने multiple times over the newspaper analysis, we have discussed what is the Donbass region. We have noted about the Luhansk and Donetsk provinces. We have also known and covered extensively what this entire dispute is all about. But today is a good time once again now to revise ourselves of what is happening there. Okay, so we will be moving in on our newspaper analysis, but before I do that, a quick reminder for all of you that 27th February को 27 फरवरी को 3 बजे there will be CLAT combat, मतलब एक live quiz for all of you which will be of 60 minutes. Okay, and there will be 50 questions in this quiz, plus students who are not yet subscribers of Unacademy stand a chance to win 100% scholarship. Plus everyone else also who are subscribers also do get to participate in it and win prizes such as a Google Mini, JBL headphones, Boat smartwatches, Amazon vouchers, all of this. And you can access this CLAT combat through our Android app or the Unacademy website. Okay, all you have to do is use the code KUSHGK. आज के वीडियो के डिस्क्रिप्शन में also it is provided. Okay, and today at 8:30 p.m. आज 8:30 p.m. I'll be taking a special class on Unacademy on orientation for the GK section and state entrance examinations. कि बाकी जो भी state universities हैं, different state law colleges, all of them, उनमें किस तरीके की GK आती है and how to prepare for it. What are the potential universities all of you can look forward instead of NLUs also. So this class is at 8:30. आप इसके लिए भी enroll कर सकते हैं. Do not miss out on it. It is a once in a chance orientation to cover all state law entrance examinations for all good colleges. All right. So on that note, let's begin our today's newspaper analysis. Now, the first big news, as I pointed out, will be the one related to the news on Russia. Okay. Very good afternoon. Hi Naman, Vivek, Abhay, Darshika. Very good afternoon to all of you. So continue till December. Will need your help. Definitely the newspaper analysis. I have been doing this for CLAT 2021 students, now for 2022 and 2023 students के लिए भी I will be doing it. Do not worry. ठीक है. Now we'll come to all of this, all the entire newspaper a little later. Okay. What we will be focusing on is Ukraine keeps India in loop, alleges disinformation drive. Okay. Separatists making provocative allegations, rebel areas independent. This is the note that is most important for us, that excuse me. So this news, the small news, Russian President Vladimir Putin will recognize two breakaway regions of eastern Ukraine, that is Donetsk and Luhansk, as independent. Okay, what are these about? What is all of this? So for that I have taken assistance of the map. We will first come to the second last page of the newspaper. Okay, and discuss all of it for us at the very beginning. This is the big news for us, the crisis in Ukraine's Donbass region. Okay, now The newspaper has the map for it, okay, but for you all to make you understand it much more legibly, I have created a separate taken up two different maps for all of you. So if you are watching me for the very first time, I am Kushagra Goyal, a graduate from NLE Orissa, masters in economics. All right, ये सब आपको पता है. Plus another thing is कि अब से highlighted newspaper, जो भी मैंने newspaper में highlight किया है, वो आपको link Google Drive पे तो रहेगा ही, that is bit.ly/KUSHGK notes. Plus you all can access the highlighted newspaper exclusively on the Unacademy community tab. Okay, so PPT आपको Google Drive पे available था, but newspaper नहीं था क्योंकि it was required to be on a concentrated platform. So that will now be available on the link, that is unacademy.community/YGRJJZ. Okay, इसका लिंक भी डिस्क्रिप्शन में रहेगा. आई हैव बीन अपडेटिंग द पास्ट डेज न्यूज़पेपर्स ऑन दिस लिंक, सो आप यहाँ से इस न्यूज़पेपर को एक्सेस कर पाओगे, ठीक है. और टेलीग्राम चैनल के बारे में तो आपको पता ही है. ओके, नाउ वी कम टू द मैप. ओके, दिस इज द सिनेरियो एज थिंग्स स्टैंड, ठीक है. दिस इज एज थिंग्स स्टैंड, ठीक है. नाउ this orange region that you see on your map is the part that is already controlled by Russian-backed separatists. Okay, this is the region. ये जो area है, this is the Donbass region. Okay, this is where the front line right now lies. Okay, now what is the dispute about? Dispute का story क्या है? This line that you see, the green one, is the border, right? Now naturally अगर किसी कंट्री के बीच में कोई बॉर्डर है तो वहां पे दोनों साइड की फोर्सेस होती हैं टू प्रोटेक्ट. फॉर एग्जांपल इवन द बॉर्डर बिटवीन इंडिया एंड पाकिस्तान, देयर आर फोर्सेस ऑफ पाकिस्तान एंड इंडिया. बट राइट नाउ हियर दिस territory, this is a border of Ukraine, but they do not have access to it. The Ukrainian forces do not have access to it. The Russian-backed separatists do. Okay? Now why am I talking about this? Is because this is related to the Minsk second protocol, जिसके बारे में हम बात करेंगे. All right? अब why is all this declaration by Vladimir Putin raising the hysteria कि अब war हो सकती है? Now an invasion is imminent. Okay? So if you look at the map right now, currently territory का size compare करिए to the second map. All right, this is the second map right now, and this is the actual size of the two provinces, that is Luhansk and Donetsk. Okay, only half of these two provinces is controlled by the separatists. Now that Vladimir Putin has declared that this entire province is independent. So what does this mean? That Russian forces, if they are to assist, what will they do? They will now move from this border to this border. All right, this is the real change that is likely to happen now. This is why the hysteria over a war becoming imminent, because अभी तक forces कहाँ पे हैं? Right now the forces are at the border here, ठीक है? The red line here, and now because Russia has declared that this is the new border, that these two provinces are independent in total, this entire territory now needs to be taken away from Ukraine. This is why the war risk has heightened to a higher level. Okay, so अब हमें GK के perspective से क्या note करना है? GK के perspective से we have to note down first the name of the provinces, Donetsk and Luhansk. Okay, this is the two main provinces that are now in question. What has been done? This entire thing has now been declared as an independent territory, that it is separate from Ukraine as a country. Okay, This is the announcement that has now been made by Vladimir Putin. Okay. Now, apart from all of this, so this is the story, this is the new update that has happened. Okay. For example, until now, in 2014, Crimean Peninsula was captured by Russia. This was taken away by Russia as their territory. Okay, this was declared as their territory, that this is part of Russia. But these two provinces have been declared as independent state. कि ये ना अभी रशिया का पार्ट है, बट ये यूक्रेन का पार्ट बिल्कुल भी नहीं रहेंगी. So basically, Russia has default recognized a territory of another country to be independent and is willing to assist in creation of that independent state. जैसे कि a parallel example of it is Bangladesh independence. Bangladesh was a demand by the protesters, by the Mukti Bahini in Bangladesh, but the West Pakistan government, it was part of the Pakistan country. What did we do? We recognized that no, this is not East Pakistan but a independent state of Bangladesh. We moved in our troops and liberated Bangladesh. So because our cause was justified there was no international pressure later on us. But right now Russia is facing a lot of international pressure to not do something similar. ये जो territory है, these are Russian majority speaking, alright? The people here are 50% plus people who identify with Russian language. Similar to Bangladesh, in East Pakistan, what was happening? People wanted recognition of their Bengali language as their native language. That was being denied, precisely because of which they were being suppressed, their democratic rights were being suppressed. So what did we do? We moved in our troops to liberate that territory. Russia is now, Vladimir Putin, in his statement is stating something similar. That see, these territories have Russian culture. To protect the Russian culture around our region, we have to declare this territory as independent. And we will take steps for liberation of this territory. They have not stated it, but this is now the risk of actual war. Okay, that is what is now happening. So हमें Luhansk, Donetsk is important. Why this is being claimed? Because the population in these territories is majority Russian speaking. Okay, this is the distinction. Now apart from this, on the text and context page, okay, what is important for us to be noted down? The crisis in Ukraine's Donbass region. Will the provisions of Minsk agreement offer a solution? Okay, so what is this about? Now what is the suggestion about Minsk II Accord? Okay, so Minsk II Accord was signed in February 2015, okay, by the representatives of Russia, Ukraine and Organization for Security of Europe, but it was mediated by the two current countries who have also spoken to Vladimir Putin after his announcement, that is Germany and France. तब का agreement was also mediated by them. अभी का agreement is also mediated by them. इस agreement के हिसाब से what was demanded? That there will be an immediate ceasefire. Now, all these headings are something that you have to note down about the Minsk II Accord. Okay. ये जो भी चीजें हैं ये आपको सिंगल बुलेट पॉइंट्स में नोट करनी है. इमीडिएट सीज फायर, विड्रॉल ऑफ हैवी वेपनरी, डायलॉग ऑन इंटरिम सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट फॉर डोनेत्स्क एंड लुहांस्क. ओके, 3 major demands: immediate ceasefire, withdrawal of heavy weaponry and dialogue on imminent interim self government for Donetsk and Luhansk. Okay, and the focus will be that all of this region will ensure. अब ऐसा होने के बाद, once the self government has been provided, what will happen? Withdrawal of foreign armed formations, military equipment, mercenaries, full Ukrainian government control throughout the conflict zones and calls to Ukraine to restore state borders. जो अभी borders की non-existence है, Okay, right now the borders are muddled, that this province who will control which border, that is non-identified. But once autonomy is granted, then the borders can be reinforced properly. Okay, that is what the demand under the Minsk 2 protocol was. Now Russia says, Russia's demand is, or Russia's interpretation of Minsk 2 protocol is कि पहले recognition होना चाहिए, पहले autonomy मिलनी चाहिए, फिर there will be disengagement and removal of forces and border patrolling will be normalized. Ukraine का point is no, first we will have disengagement, then we will have border patrolling, and उसके बाद we will provide self-government. Okay, so because of the contrary interpretation of the clauses under Minsk Accord, it has never been functional. So what do you have to note down about Minsk 2 protocol? It has never been functional. Ever since it was signed, मतलब February 2015 से it has never been functional. Okay, this is the identification of the Minsk 2 protocol. Okay, now Minsk 2 protocol से पहले एक और protocol sign किया गया था, which was Minsk 1. ठीक है, but that was also withdrawn because it was of no use at all. So an updated one was signed. Okay, now so in this article what do you have to note down about the Minsk 2 protocol? All right, उसके अलावा there is update for us कि why there is heightened tensions in this region. Okay, on the red dots is the Russian forces, which is the size of 1,30,000, and here everywhere is the NATO formation. All right, that NATO troops are here, and approximately 50 to 80,000 US troops are also stationed in these areas. United Kingdom is moving in more troops in this region. Germany and France are also moving in more troops in this region, that in case a full-blown war happens, we will come to assistance of Ukraine and Russia will fight here. Okay, so this is the risk of an actual war happening in Europe, and that is what this entire topic is about. Okay, right now there is no government in the region of Donbass. The orange territory that you see, that is controlled by separatists. Partially certain provinces are controlled by Ukraine. That is where the current ceasefire line lies. News reports are कि shelling has begun on the ceasefire line for the past 2 days. Okay, so this is the crisis that we have right now. All right, this is the focus. अभी तक के लिए these are the updates. Minsk 2 protocol and the territory which are in question, those are the two things that you have to note down because they are the factual information for us. Okay, clear? Then we come back to our other side of the newspaper. All right, जो चीजें हमने नहीं करी हैं. Okay, so this was the most important thing and that is why we began with it first. Now अगर सर Minsk वाला समझ नहीं आया, the focus of Minsk is कि Minsk was an agreement कि हम ऐसा करेंगे, आप ऐसा करोगे. ठीक है, कि what will Ukraine do? Ukraine will provide autonomy to the provinces and not become a member of NATO. ये NATO ना बनने की डिमांड हमने पहले भी डिस्कस कर रखी है. Now रशिया ने क्या बोला है कि नहीं, पहले you recognize self government, then we will remove troops. So this is a contrary interpretation. यूक्रेन का ये कहना है कि नहीं, पहले ट्रूप डिसएंगेज होंगे फिर सेल्फ कंट्रोल मिलेगा. रशिया का कहना है नहीं, पहले सेल्फ कंट्रोल दो, इलेक्शंस करवाओ, उसके बाद we will have disengagement. All right, so this is the distinction that is right now between the two parties. Okay, सीज फायर लाइन होती है कि एक तो होता है इंटरनेशनल बॉर्डर जो बाकी सारे देश की कंट्रीज भी रिकॉग्नाइज करती है. सीज फायर लाइन होती है जहां पे कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, अगर हम युद्ध लड़ रहे थे, आपने यहां तक लड़ा, मैंने यहां तक लड़ा. ओके, सो इफ दिस इज द इंटरनेशनल बॉर्डर एंड ड्यूरिंग द कॉन्फ्लिक्ट आई मूव्ड अ लिटिल हियर एंड वी डिसाइडेड टू हैव अ सीज फायर देन, कि आज की स्थिति के हिसाब से अभी तक जो था वो यथावत रहेगा. दैट इज सीज फायर. कि now the border has shifted from here to here or it can shift from here to here. that is not an international border but it is a contested territory, that is a ceasefire line. ठीक है, जैसे इंडिया पाकिस्तान have a ceasefire line which is known as line of control. India China have a ceasefire line which is line of actual control. International border for us is Aksai Chin. For China it is different. Okay, so that is contentious. But जहाँ पे troops stationed है that becomes ceasefire line. Okay. And any other questions that you have asked? Province means state. Province मतलब हाँ राज्य. All right. Then interim means temporary. Yes, interim means temporary. Minsk Accord held in Belarus between Ukraine and Russian government for solving disputes, but reactions to no result. All right. Yeah. ठीक है. Ceasefire line. This is the current ceasefire line. एक second. This red portion is the current ceasefire line. Okay, this is where the ceasefire lies between Russian separatists and Ukrainian military. Okay, the international border is this line, so I'll use two different colors. ये international border है, ठीक है? This is the international border, and now I'll use a different color to explain the ceasefire line. Okay, this is the ceasefire line. The green one is the ceasefire line. So difference समझे? International border हो गया ये, but ceasefire line is this. Actual control ceasefire line से पता चलता है, ठीक है? जहाँ पे भी dispute होता है, that is the key. So now let's come back. The most important news is here on the left hand side. Okay, small news here. Pegasus spyware plea listed for tomorrow. इसके ऊपर एक update आई है. The hearing was supposed to happen at 11 a.m. It will now happen on 25th February. Okay, so 25th February तक भारत सरकार ने टाइम मांगा है, so कोर्ट ने उन्हें ग्रांट कर दिया. So this news is an updated one कि अब 25th February को the new hearing will happen and that is when we will come to know about it. This is related to Pegasus spyware scandal. सरकार ने एक कमेटी बनाई थी under the head of former Supreme Court Judge Justice R.V. Ravindran. Their report has now been submitted to the Supreme Court bench, which is headed by the Chief Justice of India. And now, from now onwards, the actual hearing will happen, where we will come to know अगर सरकार ने Pegasus use किया है, नहीं किया है, all of this. Okay. So this is an update from 25th. Apart from this, former Chief Minister and Chief Minister of Bihar and Union Minister Lalu Prasad Yadav has been imposed a 5-year jail term. Okay, in the 5th case related to the fodder scam. Okay, so he has been given now, because of this he will be unable to work or he will be unable to contest for elections. किसी भी पर्सन को जिसको 2 years से ज़्यादा का imprisonment सेंटेंस किया जाता है, they cannot run for elections or for public office at least 6 years after their punishment is complete. So this is the update. Then we come, fundamental duties must be enforced, a plea. So part 4A of the Indian Constitution right now is non-justiciable. ठीक है, this was created through the 42nd amendment. एक PIL फाइल करी गई है सुप्रीम कोर्ट में that fundamental duties should become enforceable, कि अगर कोई अपनी ड्यूटी फॉलो नहीं कर रहा है तो उनके अगेंस्ट कानूनी कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए. That is a demand, एक PIL में लिया गया है. Supreme Court will hear the petition in future. All right, they have issued notice. Then apart from this, Sitaraman calls for nuanced debate on GST reforms, that GST के लिए क्या rationalization of GST rates. Okay, that is the demand that has been made, कि government is also had set up a group of ministers to rationalize GST rates. Rationalize क्या मतलब है कि अगर demand important है, if it is good for the business industry of India, then the rate should be increased or reduced. जैसे कि one of the thing that was pointed out कि अभी अगर आप कॉटन खरीदना चाहें, रॉ कॉटन खरीदना चाहें, तो उस पे लगता है 18% GST, बट आप कॉटन से कपड़ा बेचना चाहें तो उस पे लगता है 5% GST. सो फार्मर्स को ज़्यादा टैक्स देना पड़ता है, रिटेलर को कम. सो इस तरीके की डिस्क्रिपेंसी नहीं होनी चाहिए. एवरीवन इन द चेन of a commodity should be taxed equally. कॉटन पैदा करने वाले से लेके, कॉटन से कपड़ा बनाने वाले से लेके, कॉटन का कपड़ा खरीदने वाले तक सबको सेम टैक्स रेट अप्लाई होना चाहिए. Alright, so those kinds of reforms is something that the group of ministers will bring up over the GST Council. Then the other news is also related to case, the judgment for whether marital rape as an exception to the offense of rape will stand or not, उसके ऊपर दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट ने जजमेंट रिजर्व रख लिया है. अब जब जजमेंट डिलीवर होगा तब वी विल कम टू नो वेदर मैरिटल रेप will become a offense in India or not. Right now it is not an offense, it is an exception to the crime of rape. Okay, part 4A is constitution का part. fundamental duties कहाँ पे है इंडिया के constitution में? part 4A. कौन से article number में है? 51A. okay, so in that regard this is the news. तो हमें अभी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल प्रोविजन पता होना चाहिए कि फंडामेंटल ड्यूटीज कहाँ दी हुई है कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में. पार्ट 4A ऑफ द इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. ओके, अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस ऑन द राइट हैंड साइड गवर्नमेंट बेट्स बिग ऑन एनिमेशन गेमिंग, कि फ्यूचर में गेमिंग और एनिमेशन विल बी अ सेक्टर फॉर मल्टीपल साइज ऑफ ग्रोथ रेट फॉर इंडिया. नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अस. देन वी मूव ऑन, नथिंग ऑफ नोट हियर. Then the total voter turnout in the numbers related to the voter turnout have been released. Punjab mein the voter turnout has been less than previous year. So this is something you can note down. Okay, in total there has also been a reduction of voter turnout in the UP phase 3 elections also. Okay. Then we move on. Navy prepared for any contingency. This is the presidential fleet review. Okay, this has been happening. Kal we had talked about where is it happening right now. It is happening in Visakhapatnam. The president is aboard which ship? The presidential yacht, which is INS Sumitra. Okay, so the name of the yacht is something that you have to note down. Presidential fleet review mein president was on which boat? Presidential yacht INS Sumitra. Where did the naval fleet review or presidential fleet review take place? On the coast of Visakhapatnam. Okay, so those are two things that you have to note down. Okay, who was accompanying the president? Our defense minister Rajnath Singh and chief of naval staff Admiral R. Hari Kumar. Okay, so navy head and the defense minister of India, those are the other two things that you have to note down. Okay, then we move on to our editorial page. Okay, turnout indications on the left hand side is stating, ये वाला editorial is to discuss कि turnout voter number से what does that tell? Does it mean कि people have overwhelmingly voted for one party or the other? Is there a wave? All of this. Okay, so generally अगर voter turnout कम होता है तो it shows कि people are losing faith in the political process or they do not see viable alternatives in, और या फिर the issues that they thought the government should be addressing or election should be addressing have not been brought to the forefront. Okay, so nothing of note particularly. Then on the left hand side, blown away, India won the series against West Indies 3-0 3-0, so it was a clean sweep. So this is that West Indies was blown away by India's performance, which was too good. Okay, then the main editorial. Shravani, I'll take your question when we come back to it at the last. Once again, I'll take up your question, do not worry. Okay, now before we move on, once again, as we are at the halfway juncture of our analysis, I would request all of you who are watching to do ensure that you give a thumbs up to the newspaper analysis, because it means a lot to me. Your like and appreciation is the one that keeps driving us, keep providing us with the capacity to provide such content for totally free of cost. So do ensure that you do give a like if you like the analysis, and whatever you believe is your opinion should also be expressed in the comment section. And do remember to subscribe to the channel, that is Unacademy Law. With that, let's come back to the main editorial, a red pen moment for corporate governance. Now, this is an English phrase, red pen moment. Okay, जैसे होता है red hearing day, very important date in the mark of history. Red pen day is related to red tapeism. ठीक है, रेड टेपिज्म इज करप्शन, इट्स अ इंग्लिश फ्रेज. सो ये सारे फ्रेज आपको पता होने चाहिए क्योंकि इंग्लिश के सेक्शन में आपको आ सकते हैं. रेड हियरिंग डे, इंपॉर्टेंट डे इन हिस्ट्री, रेड टेपिज्म, करप्शन, रेड पेन मूवमेंट विच इज टू ब्रिंग आउट करप्शन. ऑलराइट, सो रेड पेन मूवमेंट फॉर कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस. अब क्या हुआ है, ऑल ऑफ यू नो, जो नेशनल स्टॉक एक्सचेंज है हमारा, वहां पे our very first women MD, managing director or CEO, that is Chitra Ramakrishnan, had been sharing sensitive information with a nirguni yogi, all right, unidentified yogi, and उनके साथ she had been sharing. She has stated कि कोई financial loss नहीं हुआ है, मैंने खुद से भी कोई gain नहीं किया है. But this article is pointing out that see, even if कोई gain नहीं हुआ है, let's presume that there was no gain, still it is wrongful. Particular information that is private, let's say you share certain information with me in confidence, that sir will not tell it to anyone, okay, or as a educator for all of you as learners, I consider all of you uniform, but later on you all come to know कि I was favoring one student above all of you. You will feel wrongful even if I may not have taught that one student anything extra than what I taught all of you, but still you will feel that something wrongful has been done. Exactly what this article is stating, same sentiment कि इंडिया की जो कॉर्पोरेट कल्चर है, सो इट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट लार्जर कॉर्पोरेट कल्चर. एज लॉन्ग एज पीपल आर परफॉर्मिंग, दे आर अलाउड टू हैव सर्टेन लीविंग in general also कि हाँ they are delivering, so we tend to give them a free pass. All right, the concept of free pass to those who are doing better than others, that alternatives और खराब हो सकते हैं, yes, look, this person has provided so much to us, we should give him one extra chance, or we can ignore his one mistake. That is something that can happen in private sphere, but the article is stating that in a public office that is not acceptable, especially in the scenario of capital markets where uniformity of information available is the key bedrock of exchange. Okay, अगर किसी को भी insider information है या किसी को advance information already है about what investors are going to do or what someone is going to do, that changes the entire market paradigm. That is what this entire article is, कि in India we need to have better corporate governance, that we need to have better regulation to avoid anyone in a public space, never to get them away with any personal transgressions. Okay, so that is the note generally. ठीक है, अब the investigation is ongoing for the NSE scam. Right now for you all, इस article में से सिर्फ और सिर्फ the note on the English phrase is important and larger story. Okay, and thank you all of you for liking the video. Thank you so much. Then the next one, this is the more important one. Use international law, call out China's violations. जिस तरीके से, let's say someone is riding on the road rashly, so you can go and report it to the police officer. Similarly, someone committed theft in your neighborhood, you went to the police station, reported him. So what has happened? Someone tried to impede on the right of another and you had a way to reach out. Now what do you do when nations violate laws? That is the article, that is this, कि we should use international law to call out violations of China. Now this article is talking about two concepts of international law. One, use of force, and two, right to self-defense. Okay, use of force is the bedrock prohibition. United Nations या international law का bedrock principle is that there cannot be allowed a use of force. ठीक है, आप लोग भी अपने NLUs में और law colleges में you will study about this far more, that the principle of use of force. No nation can use force against another nation for whatever. Everyone has to use diplomatic channels to resolve their dispute. Where is this given? Article 2(4) of the UN Charter. Ki this is the cardinal rule. States being prohibited from using force in international law is the cardinal rule of international law. Cardinal rule, that bedrock principle. Okay. अब what has China done? So this article is stating that China used force to transgress into the line of actual control. Moved the ceasefire line, जो norms थे, it used force. 20 of our soldiers were killed in that attack, and a certain number of Chinese were also killed, though they have never confirmed the actual number. But violence happened, so force was used. So this is stating that international law should be used to claim China's violation. Similarly, China had historically also violated international law. जैसे कि nuclear non-proliferation पे there are treaties that you will not have certain kinds of nuclear weapons, but China has been historically violating it without ever coming clean कि वो कर रहे हैं या नहीं. Similarly, international arbitration के अंदर they denied Philippines the access to South China Sea on the 9-dash line. 9-dash line को ट्रिब्यूनल ने ये कहा कि it is part of the Philippines territory. China did not accept the judgment. Okay, so this article is stating that international law should be used to counter China. But the problem is, while the principles are there, there is no body to enforce it. ठीक है, क्या होता है, कोर्ट अगर कोई जजमेंट हमारे यहाँ देती है, so there is police to execute that judgment. There are officers who will ensure कि judgment is actually gone through with. But in other scenarios, what happens, international forum mein you cannot force any country. All right, what is the alternative to force a country to do something? You go on war against them. So if China does not accept whatever conditions, what alternative we have? Go on war against them. That is also something not viable, which is the problem with international law, that there is a lack of enforcement. Okay, so this point is not in the article, I am talking about it in general. Okay, so अब हमें international law से related the only thing important is the principle of use of force. Okay, another point that is pointed out, एक और सवाल जो आप सबके मन में उठ रहा होगा, so अगर इंडिया और चाइना में एग्रीमेंट था बॉर्डर के ऊपर कि दिस इज आवर बॉर्डर, दिस इज देयर बॉर्डर, why can't we file a case against them for the same? Because there is no set treaty to demarcate India and China's border. हमने जो ट्रीटी साइन करी है वो चाइना रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं करता, एंड चाइना ने जो ट्रीटी साइन करी है वो हम रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं करते. दैट इज व्हाई देयर इज नो कॉमन ग्राउंड. फॉर एग्जांपल, इंडियाज इंडिपेंडेंस एक्ट में इंडिया और पाकिस्तान के बॉर्डर्स वर क्लियरली डिफाइंड. तभी पंजाब, राजस्थान, गुजरात विच आर द स्टेट्स ऑन वेस्ट, वहां पे बॉर्डर में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. बट कश्मीर में है, क्योंकि कश्मीर के लिए अलग से दोनों कंट्रीज ने कोई ट्रीटी कभी साइन करी ही नहीं. सो दैट इज वेयर द लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल इज, राइट? So until and unless countries actually sign certain treaties, the perception on border always differs. So until and unless we, China and India, actually sign a treaty, there is no formal agreement between them, so there cannot be a case also. Okay, so this is the focus. Then your questions. There was a question uploaded by Utkarsh, but now he has removed. अगर आप कोई क्वेश्चन डाल रहे हो ना, आई एम इन मिडल ऑफ अ डाउट, ऑल राइट, मैं कोई चीज कंप्लीट कर रहा हूँ सेंटेंस, तो व्हाट आई विल ऑलवेज डू इज द मोमेंट आई फिनिश द सेंटेंस आई विल अगेन लुक एट द स्क्रीन एंड देन सी योर क्वेश्चन. आप अपने कॉमेंट्स या अपने क्वेश्चंस रिट्रैक्ट मत करो. ओके सर, प्लीज टेक स्पेशल क्लास ऑन इंपॉर्टेंट स्कीम्स फॉर क्लैट. ऑल राइट, ओके. Then we move on the left op-ed page, questions on मनरेगा budget estimation, कि budget के लिए जितनी demand थी उतना fund allocate नहीं किया गया है. This is something that is wrong. Okay, ये होना चाहिए था. Then on the right hand side, protect the mother tongue. So, your question, sir, why did India vote for Russia against Ukraine on November if its stand is neutral? What is the situation that led to India to do so? देखो, India has always favored diplomacy, and you all also know that Russia is a close partner of India. Whom do we have better relations with in comparison to Ukraine and Russia? We have better relations with Russia. Who do we need our military equipments from? Russia, right? So precisely why, if we have an inkling to not denounce actions of Russia, अभी तक भी हमने actively criticize नहीं किया है Russia for its actions, okay, for everything. So this is the reason why that is the case. Okay. All right, okay. Now on the right hand side, protect the mother tongue. So कल हमने international mother tongue day के हिसाब से celebrate, we had made notes about it, and the day itself in 1999 was at the onus of Bangladesh. So why did Bangladesh start it? So Bangladesh recognizes 21st February every year as Martyrs Day, because that was the first time the protests for liberation of Bangladesh or recognition of Bengali language had started. Okay, so this article is tracing the history of the International Mother Tongues Day, and since 2000, that year, that particular date is also celebrated as an international day. So that is an important part for us. Okay, it was from the onus of Bangladesh itself that the day was celebrated. So this is the key part that we have to note down. उसके अलावा nothing of note in this article. So International Mother Tongue Day celebrated. इसकी theme भी हमने कल ही discuss करी थी, using technology for multilingual learning, challenges and opportunities. And the history of it, that is 21st February 1952 against Urdu only policy, and since then the day is celebrated as Martyrs Day. Okay, so the article then points out कि why mother tongue or indigenous languages are important for people, and internet की age में mother tongue is dying. For example, most of the language, most of the internet interaction happens through English language or some international languages, but not regional languages or mother tongue of the people. Precisely what technology needs to do from now onwards. Okay, another thing to note down in this article is the decade. That is, UN has proclaimed the period between 2022 to 32 as International Decade for Indigenous Languages. Okay, so this is another fact that you have to note down from your static perspective. Okay, then we move on. Yeah, Middat, the names of all the people who had proposed it is also mentioned in the article, but हमें CLAT के perspective से वो important नहीं है, ठीक है? Then we move on. Pegasus listed tomorrow. इसकी listing has now been shifted from tomorrow to 25th Feb. Okay, Friday को list होगी अब ये petition. All right. Then we move on. India and France discuss Afghanistan-Ukraine crisis discussions. Our External Affairs Minister is in Europe right now, where Europe is at the center of the security situation. Okay, then we come political news, nothing of note. Now we come to CBI questions Anand Subramaniam. So this is related to the NSE scam, National Stock Exchange. Anand Subramaniam, who was earning a salary of 10 lakh, was immediately appointed to a position of advisor and not of any management position, which would have ensured any regulation by SEBI. His salary was increased from 15 lakh annually to 1.62 crore and then to 5 crore, all right, where he was only working for 3 days as an advisor. So it is believed that Anand Subramaniam is no one but actually the yogi that Chitra Ramakrishnan is mentioning, all right. So this is the financial fraud that could have taken place. So this is his name is important, but the key news for us is Corbevax. Okay, Corbevax as a vaccine has been granted emergency use approval for people between the age of 12 to 18. So mostly आप सबके लिए. So what all do you need to note down? Who is the company behind the vaccine? Biological E. Okay, what is the dosage of the vaccine? So this is the first indigenously developed receptor binding domain protein subunit vaccine against COVID-19. Okay, it uses a protein molecule which is a trademark of the company, the name of the company, the name of the vaccine, and where it will be stored. So it can be stored up to 2 to 8 degrees. All right, that is the thing, and the individual behind the company, that is Mahima Datla. So Biological E is Managing Director Mahima Datla. That is the other name that you have to note down. All right, this is the key. Then zoom it. All right, एक बार वापस से देख लो to those who are unable to see it. So first, indigenously developed receptor binding domain protein subunit vaccine against COVID-19. हमने ये highlighted newspaper आप सबको community tab पे available रहेगा. Okay, the link of which is in the description box also, so you do not have to worry, you will not miss out on anything. ठीक है? Biological E and Mahima Datla, the two other names. Then one rank one pension policy. So 2015 में government came up with the policy of one rank one pension. मतलब अगर आप armed forces की किसी one particular position से retire हुए, so your pension will be equivalent to the same person at the same rank who had retired. Another thing that the government has now clarified is one rank one pension is based on the time of service. ऐसा नहीं है कि एक A person served as the major in the army for 5 years while B served in the army as 2 years for major. Their pension cannot be same because their year of service in that position also is important. Okay, clear? This is the clarification. Then आप सबके बोर्ड के एग्जाम से रिलेटेड एक पिटीशन कल सुनी जाएगी सुप्रीम कोर्ट में, whether you will have physical board exams or not. So आपके बोर्ड एग्जाम्स की डेट अनाउंस हुई है. So सुप्रीम कोर्ट इज गोइंग टू टेक अप अ पिटीशन कल filed by some of the students before the court कि फिजिकल एग्जाम्स नहीं होने चाहिए बोर्ड्स के. So this is the मेरा पर्सनली लास्ट ईयर भी बोर्ड के एग्जामिनेशंस हुए थे, अभी दिसंबर में भी फिजिकल एग्जामिनेशंस हुए. सो इट इज़ अनलाइकली दैट यू विल any of such relief of online examinations is going to happen. Okay, so do not pin your hopes on that. Then we come back to the world news. All right, so Russia to recognize Ukraine rebel regions, ये news हमने discuss कर ली है सबसे पहले ही front page पे. ठीक है, signs order on independence of breakaway Luhansk and Donetsk territories. The name, ठीक है, this is something we have already discussed. NATO Secretary General John Stoltenberg and all of them have provided that this is the worst case scenario, okay, for it to happen. In the meantime, the other news is Pakistan Prime Minister to fly to Russia to meet Putin. While Russia is at the center, Pakistan's Prime Minister, the first such visit in over 2 decades, okay, will be taking place where a Pakistani Prime Minister will be traveling to Russia is going to happen. So this is also being seen as a pivot of Russia moving away from India. Okay, अभी तक 20 सालों में why were he never invited Pakistani prime ministers? Precisely because of India's self-interest, all right, India's concern. But now that India is seen more closer to Western countries, Russia is getting closer to our enemy or non-friendly states such as Russia, such as China and Pakistan. Okay, so this is the news. Apart from this, here Pakistan brings in cybercrime law targeting criticism. The online criticism of military will not be allowed. And Donald Trump, US former president, launched his app Truth Only yesterday. Okay, and or the name of it is Truth Social, and it has been topping the charts for app download since then. Okay, he was banned from Twitter, he was banned from Facebook, so now he launched his own app to communicate with his followers. He is still eligible to run again for election in 2024. Whether he will become the Republican nominee or not, that is something to be seen. Okay, so the name of the app is something important. Sir, 26 अप्रैल से सेकेंड टर्म स्टार्ट है, क्लैट इलेट एक्सटेंड होगा. एज ऑफ नाउ जब तक कोई नोटिफिकेशन नहीं आती है तब तक कहना मुश्किल है. हमेशा ऐसा हुआ है कि बोर्ड्स और क्लैट बीच में नहीं हुए हैं, सो इट इज़ लाइकली कि देयर इज ऑलवेज अ 1 month गैप दैट इज प्रोवाइडेड. ओके, उनको बैन क्यों किया गया? उनको बैन इसलिए किया गया बिकॉज ऑफ द Capitol Hill riots that had happened on January 6th in 2020, 2020 में, and he was seen to be instigating the rioters. All right. रशिया हमेशा से ही चाइना के साथ था, but during our conflict with China, in those times it has always been Russia which has mediated, but now it is being seen as getting closer and closer to them. All right. Then we come ensure hassle-free loans. Finance Minister tells banks ki loans should be given easier, government not against use of blockchain, all of this not important for us. Then we move on. This is a big news that has come in, that Pragnanda pulls off stunning win over King Carlsen. World #1 chess champion, that is Magnus Carlsen, he was defeated in an online tournament play by Indian 16-year-old Indian grandmaster. So his name becomes very important. R. Pragnananda. Okay, his name is something important. Where did he win the thing? Elite Field of Air Things Master online rapid chess tournament. Okay, so in online rapid chess is where he defeated Magnus Carlsen in one of the games while playing black. Okay, so this is the news that he had to note down. His name is important, okay, from one word point of view. Okay, then we move on. Apart from this, nothing of note from the sporting side here. Okay, text and context का हम already discuss कर चुके हैं. So this is the focus for us. All right, all of this is already important. अब आपने एक question पूछा था, DNR and LNR. Okay, what are they? Donetsk and Luhansk territories. All right, LNR and DNR are independent territories. Stands for Donetsk, D and L for Luhansk. Okay, so that is how their name comes from. Okay, I'll make you highlight it from the page itself where this is. Okay, Donetsk and Luhansk People's Republic, independent countries. So Donetsk and Luhansk People's Republic or national republics, independent countries to recognize them as independent states. That is how their name comes from. Okay, so with this we will be concluding our today's newspaper analysis. Okay everyone, the next is a GPS to navigate a chaotic world. This is about a new book that has come out, What the Heck Do I Do with My Life by Ravi Venkatesan. Not important for us. Okay, so you can skip this. With this we conclude our newspaper analysis. अब आज के newspaper में what all to be noted down. So first are okay, his name R. Pragnananda as the winner against Carlsen. ठीक है. Then the second one about Donbass provinces declared independent. Okay. All right, this is the two most important news in today's newspaper. Text and context, Russia Ukraine वाला issue पूरा read करना है आज. Yes, you can read it पूरा also, but हमने major facts already note down कर लिया. आपको नहीं भी पढ़ना है तो भी आप skip कर सकते हो. इसके अंदर note क्या करना है, दोनों provinces के नाम. ठीक है, Minsk second protocol. You can read it, it is optional, आपके ऊपर है. अगर आप पढ़ना चाहो तो पढ़ सकते हो, बट जो भी इंपॉर्टेंट चीजें नोट करने की हैं वो मैंने आपको ऑलरेडी बता दी. ओके, व्हाट इज द फर्स्ट टॉपिक? द फर्स्ट टॉपिक इज रिलेटेड टू प्रज्ञानंदा विनिंग अगेंस्ट मैग्नस कार्लसन. ठीक है, इन ऑनलाइन चेस. सो दैट इज व्हाई इट हैज बिकम अ बिग थिंग फॉर अ 16-year-old टू डिफीट अ chess world champion for the past 7 years. All right, there have been very few people who have managed to defeat Magnus Carlsen, and that is why this is a big thing. All right, so these are the two most important news in today's newspaper. Apart from this, Pegasus wali news becomes important from 25th, and the vaccine. All right, the last thing is the Corbevax vaccine by Biological E. The vaccine name and the company that has provided the vaccine, that becomes important. Okay, so with this we will be concluding our newspaper analysis. Now before I move on to anything, I want to remind to all those who are yet preparing for CLAT examination that you can choose the iconic program for your preparation for CLAT, primarily because this provides you with mentorship and priority in classes. Why is that so? Where you get a dedicated plan for your preparation of the examination. All right. So if you are looking for same and you are also preparing for 2023 examination, then I will be taking your classes for current affairs, a dedicated batch instead. So all the important current affairs in one batch, it will be covered by me. And if you want priority in classes plus your mentorship by me, then you can subscribe to the course that is Let's Crack CLAT. The classes begin on February 25th onwards. Okay, you can use the code KUSHGK to enroll for this batch. The link is in the description box. So अगर आपको mentorship चाहिए मुझसे, you want to prepare for your current affairs for 2023 with me, then you can subscribe to this batch that is Let's Crack CLAT. Okay. And if you are looking for crash course on state entrance examinations, again the current affairs will be covered by me, and the course name is Mighty Legal Crash Course. Okay, the code is KUSHGK. I will be covering your current affairs for all state entrance examinations, 3 months to cover your static GK for all these state entrance examinations, RU, University of Rajasthan, BHU, MHCET, SLAT, BLAT, all of that. Okay. Lastly, for crash course on CLAT aspirants for 2022, there is a new batch which is Rank Booster, where I will again be taking your current affairs. This batch begins from 23rd February. Okay? The code is KUSHGK. So if you want to take your subscriptions, is there any batch to complete your 2022 syllabus? This batch, Rank Booster, which begins on February 23rd. I will be taking your current affair classes, Arushi. Okay, you can use the code KUSHGK, take an iconic subscription for the same to prepare for it. All right. Plus, अगर NLS की 3-year course के लिए if you want to prepare, then the batch is Let's Crack NLSAT. Okay, which begins on February 21. Iconic subscriptions, you can take a 3-month one for those who are preparing for CLAT 2022 या state entrance examinations, or students for 2023 exam can take a 12-month subscription. All right. आप प्लस सब्सक्रिप्शन भी ले सकते हैं 3 months का या फिर 12 months का. All right. Once again, the 3 new batches. 25th February से Let's Crack CLAT for 2023 aspirants. Mighty Legal Crash Course on 23rd for state examinations, and Rank Booster batch for 2022 aspirants. Okay, that begins on February 23rd. All right. On that note, once again, आज शाम को 8:30 PM I'll be taking a orientation session on state entrance exams कि कौन कौन से exam possible है आपको state से, which is the university that you will be eligible to participate in, what will be the syllabus, how do you prepare for the GK section of these examinations. All of that I will be covering in today's orientation session at 8:30 PM. इस क्लास को आप free of cost देख सकते हैं Unacademy के platform पे. You can use the code KUSHGK. All right. This is an orientation class. The name is General Knowledge Orientation Session, State Entrance Exams. In special classes, the notes are immediately available to all of you. You can ask your doubts verbally to me. All right. And plus on 26th Feb, there is a SLAT mock test for all of you, which you all can participate in. And 25th Feb को legal English language पे 20 mark का test होगा आप सबका. So if you are someone who wants to test your skills, so then you can use this option also. On that note, we conclude. Notes about the PPT will be available on bit.ly/KUSHGK notes. Community tab में newspaper highlighted मिलेगा. वहाँ I will be uploading it immediately after this class, so आप वहाँ से access कर सकते हो, और Telegram channel पे अपने कोई भी doubts पूछ सकते हो. On that note, thank you so much all of you. Take care. कल मिलते हैं 12 बजे. But if you want to watch about the orientation on state examinations, see you all at 8:30 today. भूलना मत. Okay. On that note, bye bye everyone. Take care. If you like the analysis, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, do subscribe. On that note, see you all tomorrow. And if you want to attend the orientation, attend it at 8:30 PM today. Bye bye.